science. So now, me mentioning the reason why I mentioned the placebo effect, I had the intention to inform the people watching it, like, yo, if you think something, you can materialize something based upon what you're thinking. And if you develop your body to think a certain way, there's ways of healing that you can have that supersedes what they say is scientifically possible.
But they're saying that the placebo effect is scientifically possible. That's what I was saying. Based off of what was being presented, the types of illnesses were minor, like a
No,
cold
listen,
or headache
there's
or
levels,
nausea.
but there's levels. But what I'm saying is there's levels. There's levels.
Wait. I want to read this. This is what I pulled this up because this is what happens. What happens is I'll talk to somebody and they'll bring something up.
Don't stop doing that. Stop doing that. But see, that's the funny shit. Hold on. If we're gonna get back on course, that's what I'm saying. You ain't gotta say I talked to somebody. I'm not who you talking to. You talking to me.
I'm talking to you right now.
All right. So stop mentioning. No. You talking to me. I'm talking to you. Stop
let's read what a
referencing.
placebo. We're gonna read what a placebo effect is, and we're gonna see whether you want to know why we're here, because you said I derailed the conversation.
No, we get back. Listen, so you want to stay off the.
Everybody want to act like they don't know how we get to certain points in the conversation when they talk to me.
You keep saying everybody.
Everybody that I've spoken to on these lives that come to build on these conversations, really it be debates disguised as builds. I be thinking we build it. Niggas be wanting to debate.
When I come on any conversation, first of all, I'm not a nigga. That's one.
Can we read what the placebo effect says? If even whether or not you a nigga or naga, niggas, whoever, can we read what the placebo says?
Brother, you can't disrespect me by referencing me to something that I'm not. And then when I'm telling you I'm not, you want to just breeze past that. I'm not a nigga. Don't call me a nigga. Don't reference me to no nigga. That's just what I'm saying. And when I come on your live, myself, Smart, come on your live, I only come on your live with the intention of sharing applicable knowledge that benefits Black people. But go ahead.
All right. Well, my thing is melanin dominant people aren't the only ones on the planet. It may be a possibility they're not the only ones who need to benefit, and they're not the only ones who benefit when scientific discoveries or uncoveries are made. Maybe we should remove race from science, and the intelligence can thrive at that point. The placebo effect is a phenomenon.
You can't remove race from science because the white race because the white race is afraid of being genetically annihilated. So this is why they falter and tamper with the science. So again, it's gonna be impossible.
You can remove, but that's another thing. The placebo effect is a phenomenon where a person experiences real physical or psychological improvements after receiving a fake treatment, like a sugar pill. Remember, I was laying down in the living room and I spoke about the sugar pill or saline injection, because they believe it's a real active medicine, triggering the brain to release natural pain relievers, endorphins. I spoke on that earlier. And other beneficial chemicals. Remember, as I said, are you familiar with the chemicals of the brain and what happens when certain releases take place? Boom. Demonstrating that expectations and the context of care profoundly influence healing, though it doesn't cure underlying diseases. Remember, I said the placebo effect applies to minor illnesses. It doesn't apply to... Look, hold on. Based off of what...
Because you're saying something.
Hold on. Let me finish what I'm saying. When you use the phrase placebo effect, this is where people run into an issue. When Rashad Jamal used neuromelanin, his issue is... Hold on. I'm using an example. I can still use an example. When he used the word neuromelanin, that word already has a meaning, and it belongs to a scientific discipline. When people use the word carbon, no matter how magic they try to make it sound, that word has a meaning, and it belongs to a scientific discipline. A lot of times people delve into chemistry, physics, and things like that. So now,
we are the inventors of science. So at the end
either
of the day,
way, if you're the inventor of it, come up with your own words.
No. Well, I gotta come. Listen, that's like saying
that's what an invention is. You know, when you invent something, you name it.
We talking, but we've been colonized. That's what I'm saying. We using English. It's not even our fucking language.
Okay, so then guess what needs to happen
right now.
All right, who came up with Who came up with the
We're
placebo
talking.
effect?
Hold on, because let me make a point. You made a point. We're talking in the colonizers. We're talking in our colonizers' language. That's one. Number two, when you talk about a disease, right? When a body is healed from a disease, what is actually taking place?
Let me ask you, do you really feel like it's genuine that if I ask you a question, you deflect? But if you ask me a question, I'm supposed to keep
How am I
responding to
deflecting?
answers.
I'm not deflecting about nothing. I'm about to go into how you can how your body heals itself. So the placebo effect is just getting you to use a part of your body inadvertently and subconsciously, but you're still using your body.
But
So
it pertains to what type of
but
illnesses?
hold on, but you cutting me off too, right? So if you cut me off too, I don't mind, but that's what you're doing. It's gonna change the flow of the conversation. I might be a little aggressive. You're gonna be aggressive, and it's just we're not getting to a point. You just said a placebo. The placebo is not real. Okay, it's not real. You believe it's real, but your belief is activating a part of your body, and it's getting your body to do something. Okay, but your body is the thing that is actually performing. So so I'm asking a question to you because it all go back to Jesus. We talk about healing illnesses and curing diseases. When your body is being cured from a disease, what is actually happening in your body? You got your computer, you got access. It's easy to Google.
And I'm willing to do that. Now, before we move
Okay.
forward, we're still dealing. I want to move to that because it's easy to type, easy to read
Okay.
Google. I want to substantiate the placebo effect that you brought up and how we got here, literally to
Okay.
fish, bullet, light speed, G-force talk. Okay? I want you to tell me chemically, how does the placebo effect work chemically?
Well. Again, it every placebo is different depending on the situation and scenario. So if it depends, right? Like our bodies produces chemicals associated with the thoughts that we think. So if we think this pill is going to do this, then our body is going to produce chemicals associated with what we think the pill is supposed to do.
Okay, so chemically, how does it work?
It's different. I mean, you talking about you talking about the cortisol,
You can give me
the
an example.
serotonin.
Give me an example of how
Okay,
we gonna
so
still type in what you
if you
asked me. Can you give me
if
an
you tell
example of hold on.
if
I'm
you tell
gonna make sure it's clear. Can you give me an example chemically of how the placebo effect works and what the placebo effect, based off of what they presented, is able to actually cure or fix?
Okay. Okay. You 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 just told me that this this pill is a fat burner. And I'm gonna and I'm the person, the subject is obese and having weight problems, which is causing health complications, hard breathing, and making them susceptible to heart attacks, right? So they take the placebo pill, and then the body starts producing cortisol, um, uh, 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 which cortisol and adrenaline, and then the adrenaline is speeding up the metabolism, causing the body to burn fat.
Okay, you said my bad. I had sounds going on outside, so I had to check see what's going on. All right, you
No,
said
okay,
the
so what
fat.
I said
Somebody gives
was
you a fat pill. The
so the
adrenaline
issue
allows for the release of.
so the issue so the ailment is obesity, right?
Okay.
You gave them so you gave them the pill saying that the pill is a fat burner. But it's really a water pill, a sugar pill, whatever. You believe that this pill is going to burn fat. Your body is going to start to produce your body's going to produce a cortisol, adrenaline, and also creatine. So now your body is going to start to, and maybe a little testosterone as well. But your body is going to start to, now the testosterone is going to accelerate the heart rate. The heart rate is going to speed up the metabolism, and that's going to lead to actually burning fat and leading to weight loss.
And so here's what happened. You're telling me if somebody takes the pill, that adrenaline is supposed to spike because they take the pill?
Depending on, yes, of course, 100%.
You know what causes adrenaline spike? That's not. It
when
doesn't correlate.
it
Stressful
does,
situations.
it
Well, hold on. if somebody takes a pill, that's a hold on.
no. Listen, when your
Hold
body
on. Hold on.
cortisol, when you just asked me a question, I answered it. Cortisol, your body's gonna produce when you're stressed out, when you're stressed and you're depressed, your
Why
body
would you be
produces cortisol.
stressing if somebody gave you a solution?
Your body, no. I'm giving an example. You
It's the
asking, it's like
opposite of what takes
you
place during the
asking,
placebo.
yo, bro, listen, man, stop. You asking trick questions now. Like you asked me, I answered the question. Your body will produce cortisol. What is it
That's
when
a
you're stressed
stress
out?
hormone.
When when you're stressed, exactly. So you mean to tell me what does your body produce? What does your body produce to burn fat? Other than cortisol. What chemical does your body produce other than cortisol to burn fat?
I don't know.
Exactly. So now
What's
what
the
I'm
answer?
saying is
What's the answer? What's the
cortisol,
answer?
the cortisol is not just cortisol is not a negative thing.
What else
When I
does the body produce to burn fat?
you're asking me a question, right? I'm answering a question, and then you're asking 3 other 1,000 questions. You say, yo, how does the placebo work? What's happening with the body? When you burn fat, your body produces cortisol. So I'm assuming if you take this placebo
What?
effect, you saying what? What? I'm answering. No, you what? I just said
So
it.
the
And the way to you.
Being stressed out.
what does it mean? It's a stress
Produ-
hormone.
Producing cortisol does not mean that you're being stressed, that you're stressed out. You just your body.
Okay,
You got Google, right? What
right
does
here,
what
right
can
here at it, waiting on you.
when your body burns fat? What chemical is being produced? Produced while your body is burning fat.
Okay, carbon dioxide and water. Nope, that's wrong. The correct answer is fat is converted to carbon dioxide. That's not a chemical. What chemical? What is the chemical in your body that burns fat? It's not giving me an answer to that. What
Yeah.
chemical is produced when you burn fat? What chemical does the brain produce? Let's see that.
No. My bad. What
Because
what are the
cortisol is
healthy?
something
No,
that.
wait. Listen. No. What are the healthy uses of cortisol?
What are the healthy uses of cortisol?
Yeah.
Cortisol helps our organs shut down the body's immediate stress response. It also helps to restore the body's normal energy and metabolism.
Thank you, Bong. So now, so now, so now we just you proving the point I said about cortisol not just being a negative thing associated with stress. Okay, so so um with the placebo effect, what I was talking about the placebo effect was there's I believe that there has to be no. What was the I was trying to ask you what is your body producing? What's happening in your body when it's fighting a disease?
Wait, that
That was
means cortisol. Wait, you not that point wasn't proved, family. Why you think that? In order for cortisol to be released, I have to be stressing. Why would I
you don't have to
stress when I take the
you don't have
pill and you
you don't
hold on? If you
you don't
give me the
have to be
pill, if you what? Okay, hold on real quick. I got you. Because I'm like, I'm waiting on. I'm like, I literally was
Because you
froze.
might take the pill because you might take the pill. You
Hold on,
might
hold on.
take
I'm
the
gonna read it. I'm
pill
gonna read
and
it. Cortisol is the body's main stress hormone. Like I said, released during stressful situations to help the body manage the response. So I'm asking you, once you give me the
because you might
pill,
take the pill because you might take the pill and go work out. You might there's like
what?
you can't take
Then
no
working
pill.
out cause that's not a placebo.
No. There's no pill. There's
Placebo
no
mean
pill.
you ain't do shit but take the pill. And it was also
I approach is
that's what you
this.
feel like just happened when I asked, bro. Hold on, bro. You can't
No,
keep doing it. You used to get mad when you lost some more to comeback, didn't you?
I'm not mad at all.
Did you
I didn't
get
know I
mad
was
when
in.
you lost some more to comeback? Yes or no?
I don't get mad,
Did you
and
play
I don't feel
2K and
I didn't lose anything.
only mouth breathing?
I didn't lose anything. I didn't lose anything.
You never
I
lost
came
on a
on the
video
live.
game?
I didn't lose anything.
No,
I didn't
I'm not
lose in
saying
this
you
comment.
lost this. I'm saying
I
you ever
wasn't trying to
did
win.
you get
I
mad when you
wasn't.
lost on the video? Bro,
I wasn't
you
trying to.
take me
I
as
wasn't.
the dude
I was.
that
I wasn't trying to.
my
I
mama got
wasn't
more
trying
money
to.
than you.
What
You
are you
did
talking
that,
about?
didn't you?
No, I wasn't trying to win in the conversation. And when I
That's
felt
why
like the
your daddy
conversation,
ain't never come back for getting that milk.
I
You
wasn't
you
trying to
you
win.
start
I wasn't
attacking the
trying to.
dude that's winning.
I wasn't trying to win in the conversation, and I'm at a disadvantage because I don't have my books, my notes, and certain things that
But you keep
I
doing
can.
that, bro. All I asked you was how is somebody
You
gonna
no,
stress if you give them
you
the
keep,
like if you give them
you
the
keep,
solution. I wasn't coming for
you
you
keep.
and saying, nigga, we got to talk about this for 3 more hours. It's
No,
like
but
it's the
that's what happens. I
soliloquies and
get it.
it's the
I'm
the
used to that.
months.
When
Go ahead.
you tell black people how great they are, smart black people do what you're doing right now. When you tell, but they don't question. They don't question the same. Like they'll tell you, what do you mean? But you speak in a colonized, like you are speaking the language of our oppressor on this live. But then you'll turn around and tell me what I'm saying is bullshit or dissect everything I'm saying, but
Man,
we following a rhetoric that was told to us. So they told us Jesus was Christian, but Jesus didn't say he was Christian. Jesus was actually African. Constantine was the first person to talk about Christianity. Jesus was actually African. Okay, now a person goes, well, you because the conversation you had with the brother, you talking about the apocryphers, the missing parts of the Bible. There's parts of the Bible that talk about what I'm talking about right now, how to apply these systems to your life to become free. And then when we start talking about that, the intellectual, it's like we defending the white, we subconsciously defending white supremacy because you got to make it about everything I say something. But what do you mean? What's the definition of this? You going through every, so now I'm feeling pressure because I don't have my books and I don't know everything. It's not memorized, and nobody has it memorized. Not a doctor, not a lawyer, not a prosecutor, not the physicist, the white man that lied about discovering speed of light. They have books and stuff when they have conversations about this. I'm having a general conversation about uplifting black people, and you trying to dissect everything I say while you being in front of the computer, and I'm just sitting in my car, waking up sleepy from a fucking workout. And then I'm like, okay, bet you wanna. It seems like you're trying to clown me or make me feel like you're debating me and winning me or making me look stupid. So I'm like, okay, cool. Let's have a debate. Let's dissect both of us. Let's dissect your background. Let's dissect my background. Let's dissect your credibility. Let's dissect my credibility. And let's see who's gonna actually catch the L. I
I ain't
promise you it
never
won't be
felt like
me.
this. After talking to somebody, I ain't never like all that the speech you gave. I ain't never had to do that. It's like
Yeah, I hear you.
all I asked you was this is what just happened. I asked you, I say, listen, if you give
Yeah.
somebody a placebo, why are they stressing? That's how we got to
Nah,
like checking my
bro.
credibility and
No, bro. We got to that. We got to that because we got to that. We got to that because you shifted the energy in the conversation. I
no, I
came on the
didn't.
live. I came on the live talking about the placebo effect. You said, how do you know? And you start, how do you know this and how do you know that? And
That's
how
not
do
what
you know?
happened. That's not what happened. When you mentioned the
Now
placebo
you
effect,
telling me, I'm telling you my experience with you, and you telling
you
me it
gonna
didn't
do it
happen.
again? We gotta do how many times we gotta do it?
It
When you mentioned
it's
the
happening
placebo
now.
effect,
It's
when you
happening
mentioned
now.
the placebo effect, you were mentioning
Your
it in
body,
terms of the
your body
miracles
produces
that Jesus
chemicals.
was
Your
doing.
body, your body produces chemicals when you think a
That's
thought.
not
When
the same as
it
healing the
is
blind. That's not the same as giving the
healing
blind
the
their
blind,
sight back.
healing the blind was an
That's not the
analogy.
same
You
as
do know the Bible.
reconnecting
The,
nerve
the Bible.
endings.
I never said it was. I never said it was. And a
Mhm.
lot of the stuff that they said Jesus did, I never said. I never said that you had that we had the ability to heal somebody from being blind. And that reference that you're using in the Bible was an analogy. They didn't mean they didn't mean that in the literal sense. Even when they spoke about him being risen from the dead, to the day you talking about analogies, and I believe you know that. You know that, but you making it seem like Jesus really meant in
No, I'm
that
not.
Bible.
So what I'm saying is, I'm not even. It ain't even about the Jesus thing. It's about the fact that you brought up the placebo effect, and when you did,
Yes,
I said,
because
well,
the placebo effect is a powerful tool that we can use, and
that the
then and then what you
colonizer
and and and, and
talked
then
about. That's it. That's
and
the based off of what you saying. It's the
and then you try
colonizer
to
that introduced
discredit
that.
me, and then you try to discredit me in the conversation, but you
No, I
using the
didn't. I just
colonizer,
said
but you,
okay. Where I come from,
bro.
edification is not discredit. I come from, bro. We really had to sit out there for hours at 5, 6, 7 years old dealing with elders. And
So we got to
all
do
right,
that.
tell me how
And then
much
you
you
try
know
to
about
clown
that.
me. Hold on. No, you
And
tried to
then we had
clown
to
me
talk
for
about it,
saying I
and then
got
they had
books.
to
You try
hit
no
us with
no.
all these
You try to.
questions,
It's the
and we
same
got to
thing. It's the same
substantiate what we
thing.
saying.
You try to. I got no problem doing that. I need my books, and you try to discredit me for saying you need your books. Like what you talking about? Like that's corny, bro. We having a conversation and I'm saying I need my books, I need my notes. There's nothing weird or odd about that. That's how I do things. If I have a conversation and we having a general conversation, like you telling me, how do you know the black man was the original man? Well, I'm gonna go to my notes. I'm gonna go to my irrefutable facts that I have, and then I'm gonna say, yo, this is this, and then you're gonna question. Cool. I'm gonna be able to point out things to solidify what I'm saying. The
You
fact
know
that
how
you
we can
trying to make it
smooth
seem
all of it out? Because I know a lot of this, like, let's smooth. This is how we smooth it out, right? Simple. You brought up the placebo effect. I didn't bring up science. You brought up the placebo effect. I spoke on the placebo effect.
I
Here's
brought
the
the
question.
believe.
Hold on, hold
Okay,
on.
again.
Here's the question.
Listen to me, la 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 la.
What miracles
Based
you
off of
talking
what
about?
we just researched about the
What
placebo effect
what
and all
miracles you
that,
talking about?
the same miracles that you were talking about.
Absolutely. I believe so, yes. I believe so.
Okay. All right.
I believe so.
How can the placebo effect?
XYZ. See?
It's not the
So
mind. It's chemicals in the brain.
no.
When
It's
you
the
talk about a
mind.
placebo effect, they don't use the
I'm
word
not talking
placebo
no,
effect
I'm
next time.
no.
It's
Forget
not the mind.
I'm not
It's
talking about you're
chemicals
putting
that are
words
released
you're
in the
putting
brain
I'm not talking about
and
the
in the
placebo
body.
effect. I only brought up the placebo effect to try to make a connection that people can understand. Okay? So I'm not talking about the placebo effect. I'm talking about the power of the mind. That's why I also mentioned alchemy and mentalism. So we produce regenerative abilities. This is what we actually produce. So how is it possible for us to activate our regenerative abilities using the mind? That's what Jesus was able to do. And when I when I had a
Hmm?
conversation, so when we was talking about it, I said, okay, we're taught that Jesus is essentially above us and everything he did we can't do. But that's a lie. And what I said was, how do we make what he did relevant to what we're dealing with to put ourselves in a better position? Do we need to cure the blind, or do we need to build our own police department? Do we need to walk on water, or do we need to have our own hospital system? You see? So making what he did relevant to our plight and the issues we have dealing with systemic racism.
I
That was
got
my
you.
intention.
So then
Yeah,
here's what I say. The placebo effect analogy, I understood it. That's why we talked about it. The point was, Remember, my point is, or my thing is, I can maintain the point throughout this whole conversation. I know what the direction was. That's why we got to each point, because it was supposed to wrap back around to the center. When we're looking at Jesus' story, any of the miracles that he did, with any analogy associated with the placebo effect, it would not apply. So if we're looking at his story, we have to figure out, if we're going to refer to it, characteristics that he might have had, things that he might have been able to stand on, truth, principles, whatever it is, character, all of those, and see whether or not it can aid and assist in the plight of blacks in the Western Hemisphere or all over the world. What I said in the beginning was, there are people who did that already. People who have been inspired by Jesus' story. And after already, people who have been inspired by Jesus' story.
Europe. So if you go into church and instead of you seeing some white man on a cross or some white man with the shining fingertip holding the baby, walking through the jungle, right? Like you have a sense of pride, you have a sense of relevance, or you feel connected differently than you do by seeing this. You feel connected differently than you do by seeing the practice that Jesus had that they removed out of the Bible was how for us to attain provision. How do we get provision from God? How do we get provision from God? And how do we use mentalism? Meaning, how do we use our mind to create and manifest our desires?
And again, I see what you're saying, and that's why I would say, first, the
So wait, hold
foundation
on,
of
and then let me say this last thing. If you see what I'm saying, then wherever I drop off with detail or proper context, you're filling in the gaps if we're on the same page and we're on the same team.
I will.
If we so it's like if you're saying like I don't believe it. I believe the Bible was bullshit. Right? I believe Jesus was some fucking we don't even know that I feel like it's some the image first of all, the image of Jesus that they mass marketed as a white man, that was an actual rapist. That guy was that image was a real person. That person was a rapist. So all that shit was bullshit. But I'm not gonna go start bombing. I'm gonna try to take what I know and validate what you're saying with the intention of us as a people getting some mutual benefit out of it so we can get out of these fucked up conditions that we in. But go ahead.
Yeah, that don't mean I gotta agree with you to do that. So that's what I'm saying.
Yo, yo,
Because when you bring up a statement about God and
this is crazy.
mentalism, you use placebo effect the first time. We talked about it. We move forward. That's what my goal was. Hey, this is what I know about placebo effect. What do you know?
Is it
We
a
move
good tool? So do you think it's a good tool for us to have in our toolbox?
the placebo effect
Yep.
as a the placebo effect is occurrence. So if you ask me, do I think it's important for people to know what it is? I think it's important. I think it's of use. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Are you
Yeah.
trying to help your
It
black people?
was my black people.
Are you trying to help black people, man?
No, I'm working to help all people.
Then that explains it. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Explains what?
That explains it.
Explains
I
what?
don't care to go. Oh, all right. I got you.
Explains what?
I got you. I don't want to say no more in terms of that. I just said that's it. I got you.
Exactly, because then you would be in for it with that one.
You said what?
Yeah. The thing that you
No,
said
listen.
explains would be subjective for one, because you have your own experience, your own rhetoric. I wasn't even raised to speak how you speak. That's why people are able to work together if they're able to acknowledge that and move forward
You working
without
it.
taking
Listen,
offense or
I'm not
without
taking
thinking.
offense. I'm
Because
just saying I get it.
I can walk with. Do you pay taxes to Caucasoids or melanin dominant people?
What's the reference with me helping people?
Do you pay taxes to Caucasians or melanin dominant people?
It was a loaded question.
This
Pay
is a
taxes to
simple
the
answer.
government, man. I pay taxes
Oh,
to the
okay.
government.
The government, which is ran by who? Melanin dominant people, blacks or whites?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Okay. Now you
I
say it.
think I don't
Okay.
know.
I
I think
understand that. Huh? You
uh,
think aliens?
uh,
Hey, man, I don't know about that debate. I don't know about that. How they coming out with more scary movies? Or it's supposed to be a thriller. Man, you can't make this up, bro. And I'm like, I just was researching some stuff about this, about cognitive dissonance and all this other stuff. They're like, bro, the conversation we started on was about Jesus and Christians and what they're being taught in the Bible, and we got on the placebo effect, which is not in the Bible. But this is what I'm saying. Do y'all that speak on the books like the Bible, have y'all actually read it? If you actually read the Bible, it may help. When you speak on the Quran, have you actually read it? You've actually read the Quran, it may help. Well, now we talking about a placebo effect. I'm like, well, that wasn't a placebo effect. Then we look into it more, and while we're trying to figure out what the placebo effect is, or while I'm telling what the placebo effect is, we end up talking about we can punch faster than bullets, meaning we can punch at 300 miles, well, no, 3,000 miles per hour plus. And I know we supposed to be confident. I know that. I get it. We supposed to be like, nigga, I'll fucking blow a hole in the cannon. I know that. Nigga, shoot me, I'm gonna punch the shit out that bullet. Cause I'm spiritual. And then we had people on here saying in the comments, spiritually you can block a bullet. That's what's dangerous. Nigga gonna stand up with his copper on. Be like, brother, I don't think you want to do that. And be talking to a young nigga. The young nigga just gonna be standing there looking at him. I'm gonna tell you, like I tell any of these other millions, cause I'm God in this motherfucker. That's all you gonna hear. And we're gonna be like, why didn't he spiritually block the bullet? And then people were supposed to be the Superman. People supposed to be Superman as long as they wasn't 9 feet away. And it's like, well, most people don't get shot right up on the motherfucker that got the gun. Did you think about it? Because when you hear about people getting shot, nigga ain't always like, oh, there you go, arm reach. And it's like, oh, since you want to pull this explosive ass device, no matter how you pull this trigger and point it at me, it will affect my being. Let me do this super shit I see in the videos. And here you go, down on the ground. This is not Hollywood. That's dangerous. These types of teachings are dangerous. Spiritual teachings is dangerous. Religious teachings is dangerous. It's dangerous to the mental health of the people that you say you want to help. The mental stability of the people that is saying you want to help, especially those who have been on the receiving end of an inferiority complex program for however long. that already think they ain't got it. They already look at these Caucasoids as some superhumans because of their programming. And you're going to reinforce the book and say, well, it's just talking about the placebo. It's like, that's not in there. The placebo ain't in there, right? Unless you say, which could have been something, babe, so shall you be here. You could have said something like that. Even still, that would be substantiating the belief that faith will be the healer, not the chemical releases. The Bible isn't advanced enough in this day and time itself to help our people. Why didn't we just say that? That many people have attempted to use the Bible to help the people, and eventually the people just end up enslaved up under that person. All these pastors, reverends, people enslaved up under them, waiting on them to say what's next, what's right, what's left, which one is it? And then they talk about this person who's supposed to be miraculous. Not just one person, a bunch of people in the book that's supposed to be miraculous. And then we don't see anybody doing those types of miracles. And everybody's supposed to believe on Jesus. And it says in the story that if you believe on me, you'll be able to do all these things. Ain't nobody walking on water. Ain't nobody touching somebody and all of a sudden they ain't blind no more. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody walking up on demons and actually casting them out. You see it on TV, but that's TV. It's supposed to be that. A telling vision. It ain't real. They're telling you a vision. Like Malachi taught. So I'm just listening like, bro, all this stuff is what keep people messed up internally. That's what mess people's brain up. Like, you know, you're not able to punch at the speed of a bullet. But because of the sake of the conversation, you feel like you've been called out, or like you was saying, all this stuff showed up and all this other stuff, or you trying to clown me. All I'm doing is asking questions. I'm not trying to clown you. You asked me about escape velocity. That was simple. I didn't lose anything. Team to say, oh, you didn't know that? Well, here, this is what a hammer does. Now you go work over there on those bricks, and with that mortar and those ashlars and those levels. Do you know what this tool here does? Do you know about a gauge? Do you know how the gauge works? You know about your 24, your 8, your 8, your 8? Do you know? Oh, you don't know? All right, well, then you're speculative. Let me explain to you how this works. That way you can move forward. We can't move forward if we got everybody with this gorilla mentality that if somebody's telling you, family, that's not how that works, and you think they're trying to show you up, how are we going to work together and move forward and be on the same team? You see what I'm saying? They're like, you go up for the shot, you miss. I come up behind you, grab the ball, rebound. It go in. And you're like, this nigga trying to show me up. You don't feel like we're on the same team. I wasn't taught that way. Can we deal with that? I was taught edification is necessary for progress in our communities, not just on the language and learning certain things and studies and all that. I'm talking about real life. If you're not able to listen to the elders, if you're not able to not even just take wisdom from the elders, take wisdom from anybody that's in position to give it to you, then all you're going to be doing is learning from hindsight. You learn from hindsight, your head is in your butt. Your head in your butt, guess what you look like? A tire rolling around. Say, why I can't stand up? Get your head out your ass. Not everybody's in competition with you. And stop thinking you are competition for everybody. Chances are you're not. Now, y'all come up here and like y'all want to build and all this other stuff. Y'all be wanting to be competition for me. I could really spaz. My thing be to take what you're saying. Okay, let's find common ground and let's move forward. Let's move forward with whatever it is that we're speaking about. If not, then it becomes a situation where people feel like it's a testosterone or ego battle. And ego can get involved real quick. That's why I say, listen, let's deal with what you said, not what I think, not what I feel about it, not whether or not you got credibility and who you are and whether or not you got credentials. Listen, let's do what you said. You said this, right? Okay. All right. Based on what you said, that's not that. The placebo isn't that. based on what you said. Well, if I give you a pill and you lose weight, you know what I mean? I just help you lose fat because of the cortisol, and your adrenaline. I'm like, family, why would I be stressing if you give me a pill that's supposed to help me lose fat? That's not a placebo effect. When I give you this pill, okay, how many people ever had a headache? All right, and you take the Tylenol. Some people think the Tylenol or the aspirin is a placebo effect. You could be right. What you know is what? Once you take that Tylenol, you think something's being solved. You think something's being fixed. You want to know what that is? The placebo effect. That's why they call it a sugar pill. A pill that wasn't actually composing medicine or real medicine. So people take it and then they start to have senses of release because they feel something is changing. And when that takes place and they start to calm down and they feel that things are working, certain chemicals are able to release endorphins and things like that. Now, why would you stress because someone gives you a solution to being fat? Why would you stress? He said, well, that happens when they're working out. When they're working out, then it'll cause stress. Well, then guess what caused the fat release? Working out. Guess what helped them burn the fat? Working out. You see what I'm explaining to you? So this is what I mean. It's science. When he asked me about high vibration, I asked, what do you think is the highest vibrational thing on the planet? And he have an answer. I said, science. Science is the highest vibrational thing because everything y'all be talking about to make it seem like y'all know what y'all saying, y'all get it from the same colonizers as you say colonized us. The placebo effect wasn't something you came up with. Neither was mentalism. Neither was alchemy. You see what I'm explaining to you? And guess what? If you say that alchemy came from and people that were working with chemistry in that day and time and how things work and reactivity and all of that and what things are made of and transmutation, guess what? You have to know science to do that. It's not the power of the mind. The power of the mind is not why placebo effect works. It's the power of the chemicals that come from the brain, not the mind. If I teach somebody the power of your mind, as opposed to showing them which chemicals actually are released in certain situations and why, who do you think will be more apt to develop a more successful progressive civilization if they begat more children that were taught those same sciences? Okay, so I give one group of people, let's do it. Let's put two cages up for two different worlds. I give one group of people the Bible, and I give another group of people books on chemistry, physics, modern technology, electromagnetic sciences, and things like that. Anything that would be necessary for them to build and grow and expand. I give them books on could show you examples of things that took place that could cause you to make different decisions, or however it is. Not that you need the history books. Either what I'm saying is, if I give you this one religious book called the Bible, and then I give you all of these science books, and I tell you with the Bible to go off to the corner, and I give you with the science books will go off to the corner and start your own civilizations. Which civilizations do you feel would thrive? Look at the political parties. Most of what they do is based off of the Bible, and they warring about it. And both sides are contradicting one another and contradicting the book that they say they're warring about. You with me? Look at the In God We Trust. Look at the United States and how it's set up. All of that. You see that? You die and God is mad at you. You're gonna burn for eternity. They try to get that out of the Bible, and they get that out of the Bible only if you find the book of Luke, right? And Luke, like we talked about from the beginning with that brother, Luke was not inspired by God. So why is his book even in here? I mean, this whole book, if we just really go through it, because I tell you, I'm more on than people think. I just be taking my time. If we really go through this whole book, I was taught how to do that with Hebrew Israelites, the Yiddish, the Christians, whoever. We go through this whole book, the Torah. Whatever you want to do. And it's like, listen, here are the issues here, and there. And a lot of this stuff is outdated anyway. And we go to the Torah, like Malachi was explaining, you got to go back to Tarot. And Tarot and ancient Egyptian science is a whole different thing. So you go to these stories and find out where these stories is coming from. It's like, family, how did y'all put all this in one book? And then why is most of this books from Paul? Who is that? Is he a disciple? No. He's a self-appointed apostle. Okay, cool. So who did he work for? The Roman capital. You mean the same Roman capital that crucified Jesus? Yeah, the very same. Oh, okay. According to your story, this doesn't make sense then. Why do we have Paul?